Okay, Rob, we're going to shift gears just a little bit because we have a big announcement and some really good news. I'm live here at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport for this big announcement. We've been hearing about it for the last few days, and now it's official. We will soon be able to fly direct from Cleveland nonstop to Dublin, Ireland. Aer Lingus will begin direct flights to and from Dublin. That starts in May.
This will be the only city in the Midwest with Aer Lingus service outside of Chicago O'Hare. So you look at the footprint this creates for Cleveland regionally, it's going to attract, I think, a lot of interest in Cleveland.
Now, these new direct flights to Ireland also give us access to 20 other cities in Europe, including Amsterdam, London, Paris, and even Rome. And we did some digging, some extra checking, because after this announcement came out, we found out that these flights are already live on Aer Lingus's website. So we Googled the flights and found that that inaugural flight, which begins in May, is online for about $460 round trip, in case you were interested. And we do know that flight is going to take about 8 hours each way. Now, Cleveland Hopkins was the first municipally owned airport when it opened nearly a century ago, and the airport has undergone some major changes over the years, but that has also created its own set of problems. And News 5's John Cossack, he joins us, and John, airport officials say the future is big and it's bold here.
It really is. Cleveland Hopkins is kind of like the old family summer cottage that becomes the main house. It's had a lot of expansions and additions over the years, a lot of extension cords lying around. Well, if things go as planned, this place may undergo a major overhaul. Whenever anything is the first, as Cleveland Hopkins was, as the first municipally owned airport in 1925, it means it's old. Airport leaders say just about every aspect, from landside operations to parking to rental cars, were never considered for the type of airport we have 98 years later. That's why they're proposing a $2 billion overhaul, not just a facelift.
We're going to be doing 70% reconstruction and 30% renovation of all of our facilities.
When the airport was a continental hub, a large number of travelers that came through it never left the grounds. But today, 98% of travelers start or end their flight in Cleveland, so the need is great to create more walkable parking spots, more ticketing and check-in space, and security screening areas large enough to handle the volume in a post-9/11 era. Then behind the security checkpoint,
it's going to be rebuilding a lot of the terminals to ensure that the modern airplanes and the modern flight patterns are accommodated.
The roadways around the airport would also be redesigned, with an elevated connecting road tied directly to Interstate 71, built to eliminate all airport traffic on Route 237, something that roughly 95% of similar-sized airports already have. 20-year master plan unveiled last year is now before the FAA, awaiting their final green light.
Regardless of finalization, we're moving forward with planning and preparation and all those things you need to do to move toward implementation of the plan.
That includes clearing developable space, which they will be doing with the now empty Sheraton Hotel, which will come down to allow for more parking, and the long vacant Concourse D, which will also be coming down as part of the eventual addition of a 5-gate Concourse E. The $2 billion price tag may be big, but it won't be coming out of the pockets of local taxpayers, but rather through airline rates and charges and non-aviation revenue the airport generates.
There is no taxpayer dollars that support any of the things we do here at the airport.
And talks with the airline on that funding continue. Now, we know Amtrak was also hoping to put in a rail station here as part of that 3C plus D line connecting Cleveland and Cincinnati if the DeWine administration were to sign off on it. And Courtney, I spoke with Lieutenant Governor John Husted about that, and he said at this point, he called that a long shot.
Oh, really? Well, this all sounds really exciting. I know you said it's a 20-year master plan, so I can't wait to see all of this stuff roll out. It'll take some time.
Some evolution, for sure.
Thank you so much, John Cossack, live here at the airport. And for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, Rob.
Courtney, John, thank you both so much.